Hello friends, I welcome you to this series of artificial intelligence. My name is Lubinga Hudson from Uganda. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and don't forget to invite your friends, some other students to also come and enjoy this series. This is our very first topic about artificial intelligence, and I'm gonna take you through several other topics. Now, artificial intelligence is one of the trending fields in technology nowadays. We have quantum computing, we have cloud computing, we have artificial intelligence, and many other new technologies or fields in computing. So this is a privilege for everyone to learn, to know about artificial intelligence. So today we're gonna talk about the introduction to artificial intelligence, which we call in short AI. This lesson will cover the definition of artificial intelligence, importance of artificial intelligence, applications, how AI works, enablers of AI, data for AI, and augmented intelligence. So let's first of all understand what artificial intelligence is. AI is the study of how to make computers perform tasks that humans consider difficult through the creation of intelligent concepts. So artificial intelligence is where machines work with humans to enhance their expertise through the knowledge of data. Now, the study of this AI began way back in the 1950s, and it has improved dramatically over time with better statistical methods and greater computing power. AI is now used for all sorts of things, such as intelligent opponents in video games, accurate medical diagnosis, speech commands on mobile phones, and keeping email inboxes clear of spam. The people who use AI often want it to perform repetitive tasks that take a lot of time for a person to do, or to solve problems which seem almost impossible to solve with a calculator. So that's AI in brief. When you use computers to perform tasks that we as humans think are difficult or that we consider difficult, that are complicated, and we do this by creating what we call artificial intelligence. So computers will use artificial intelligence to perform those tasks that humans deem difficult. So that's AI. Why is this artificial intelligence important? Now, AI is important because it serves as a guide for experts when taking important decisions. Artificial intelligence technology is important because it enables human capabilities, and these capabilities include understanding, reasoning, planning, communication, and perception. And AI will use these to be undertaken by software increasingly effectively, efficiently, and at a low cost. So that's how important AI is. Let's talk about the applications of AI. Where can this artificial intelligence be applied? AI can be applied across different industries like in music, fashion, and healthcare, among others. Now, in each case, AI gives the industry experts suggestions that help them to make better decisions. For example, AI can be used to, number one, intelligently guess the products that someone may want to buy. It can also be used to count cells in a microscope picture. Also, it can be used to find the optimum number of taxis that a city needs, to read the license plates of cars in a video, to predict the quantity of ingredients a restaurant needs, to order to minimize waste but not run out of the stock. Then also it can be used in fraud detection, in virtual customer assistance. So those are some of the examples where AI can be applied. Although this sounds very difficult, there are free tools that are available online which make it easy to get started. So my friend, don't panic. Though it sounds very difficult, there are free tools. For example, we have the IBM Watson tool. This can be used to create the artificial intelligence components, or to use it to apply the AI. So to get started, you can try out the IBM Watson tool. The IBM has free tools, and it's free, on IBM you can create a free account and you access these tools, and there are even more AI tutorials that you can find on IBM, and you can practically try out this IBM Watson tool. So my friends, you can utilize that chance and create a free light account on IBM, then enroll, or you access this course of AI. There are several courses, and then you can try out practicals therein, and you get started with the artificial intelligence. Okay, how does AI works? In other words, what makes a cognitive system different from these normal systems or the structural systems that we have? How does AI work? With AI, we are able to build a cognitive solution. Computing systems of the past operated in predictable environments. They used structured and uniform data to perform prescribed operations. Nowadays, we have what we call the cognitive computing systems, and these are much more adaptable and similar to the human brain. They can understand, reason, and learn. So the modern systems are adaptable depending on the conditions. They work like the human brain. They can make decisions, unlike the original systems, the old systems that are predictable, that work in a structured, and they use uniform data. So these cognitive systems are the ones that employ this knowledge of artificial intelligence. These systems can read vast amounts of unstructured data and use it to spot connections and patterns in new ways, and they offer insight into all kinds of human expression. So that's how AI works. Let's talk about the underlying technologies for cognitive systems. Cognitive systems are built on several underlying technologies, so let's take a look at only two of them, two of these technologies that are common. We have what we call the natural language processing, NLP, and the machine learning, ML. Now, natural language processing starts with understanding. The system needs to understand human language in context as opposed to structured tables. This natural language processing pulls information from articles, research reports, emails, from tweets, even from images and sounds, and it will use all this data to identify the significant grammar, context, and vocabulary that carry more meaning. What about machine learning, ML? This is a technique in which the system spots connections between a particular pattern and the most likely outcomes. So what does this mean? The system receives feedback from regular use, so it learns from every interaction, and each prediction it takes, each prediction it makes, whether right or wrong, is taken into account for the next prediction until it can reliably spot the meaningful patterns through all the noise. So here the machine tries to look at the spots. The system it spots the connections between particular patterns and the most likely outcomes. So each decision it makes, whether the decision is right or wrong, is taken into account. So the system, the machine, will learn basing on that decision, and it will make the next prediction basing on that. So that now at the end it will make more reliable and meaningful patterns. So it will give more reliable results basing on those patterns after learning. So that is machine learning. So this diagram here tries to show artificial intelligence in general. Now, machine learning is a subset of artificial intelligence, and again, within machine learning we have deep learning, which is also another subset of machine learning. So briefly, we can say that artificial intelligence, we are talking about the techniques which allow computers to mimic human intelligence. They use logic, decision trees, and machine learning. And you have said that this machine learning includes the deep learning. And we have just talked about this machine learning. It's a subset of AI where statistical methods are used to help the system improve at tasks with the training and the experience. And again, deep learning, which is a subset of machine learning, is where a system can train itself to perform tasks including the language, the analysis of images, and it uses the multi-layered neural networks. Okay. Now, with this the natural language processing and the machine learning, a cognitive system doesn't offer one definitive answer. So there is no one answer that is defined that the cognitive system will offer. Instead, this system is designed to weigh the information and the ideas from many sources and to reason, and afterwards it will then offer rationales for its conclusion. It will offer validations, the reasons as to why it has come up with a certain conclusion, basing on the gauges, basing on how it has weighed the information and the ideas from many sources. So it has that element of reasoning, so it can even give validations, or it can give rationales for its conclusions. So this makes it more than just a tool that enables you, but rather it's a trusted advisor. So that's the beauty with cognitive systems that employ AI. Let's talk about the enablers of AI. As we said, The research into AI began way back in 1956. Now AI is now delivering significant utility and its abilities are advancing rapidly. AI capabilities have been transformed in the last 5 years due to the following. So these are the enablers of AI. Because of these, AI has now dramatically changed its rapidly advancing. So number one enabler is the development of improved AI algorithms. So nowadays we have very many computer literates, many computer scientists that can write improved algorithms. Algorithms are steps that are taken, steps that are followed, and these steps can be translated into, they can be based upon to write a computer program that the computer will follow to perform specific tasks. So those steps that are well arranged and aligned in a particular format are what we call the algorithms. So we have very many computer people nowadays who can write AI algorithms that are improved. So that's the number one enabler of AI. Number two, we are saying that nowadays we have increased availability of data to train AI systems. So this is called the era of information, the information era. We have availability of data everywhere. We have very many databases full of data. So that availability of data is helping us to train the AI systems. Then next, we have specialized hardware to accelerate training of AI algorithms. We have cloud-based AI services to catalyze developer adoption. So nowadays, you don't need to develop AI components from scratch. The robots, all the chatbots and so on. We have very many cloud-based AI services that you can just use, and then you just learn how to use them and embed them into your system, and then they work perfectly. So there are many. Even IBM has a lot of them. The IBM Watson tool that we have already talked about is one of them. Then next, we are saying that open source AI software frameworks that enable experimentation are also available. We have increased investment in AI by large technology companies and venture capitalists. So we have very many people who can invest in AI technology. Then, number 7, we can also say that we have greater awareness of AI among investors, executives, entrepreneurs, and the public. So we have very many people who are very much aware about AI and they are willing to invest in it, the executives, the entrepreneurs, and the public. So those are some of the major enablers of artificial intelligence. So together, all these enablers, all these developments have improved results from AI systems and increased the breadth of the challenges to which they can be applied. They have also reversibly reduced the difficulty, the time, and the cost of developing the basic AI systems. Now let's talk about the data for AI. Data for AI. AI uses data at every step of the journey. So let's ask ourselves, what is data? In brief, data is referred to as raw facts. It's everything you could record on a paper. For example, data can be continuous or it can be in form of categories. We can have continuous variables like times, sizes, weights, temperatures, all colors. These continuous variables, we are talking about things which can be measured as numbers. So like the times, the sizes, weights, temperatures, colors, among others. Or it can be in form of categories. For example, categories might be fixed or broken, acceptable or unacceptable, or country of birth, a category. Country of birth, like my country, Uganda, and other countries, and so on. Now, there are two key kinds of data we will be using again and again in this AI. And these are, we have features and labels. Features are aspects of an event or object or a person that we are interested in. These can be continuous or categorical. For example, a person's features might include their height, which can be continuous, and their favorite sport, that is now categorical. Height and your favorite sport. So those are examples of features. Then we have labels. When you talk about labels, we are looking at categories we put events, objects, or people into. For example, we might label a cake good or bad. That's a category or a label that we are giving. Then we can also label a person depending on their the political party they are affiliated to. Like a person can be a Republican or a Democrat, or you could even label a particular image, for example, as containing fish or not containing fish. So those are examples of labels. And these two types of data, features and labels, are the ones that we will use again and again in AI. Now let's talk about the augmented intelligence, and I think this is gonna mark the end of our introduction to AI. I think you are now getting a picture of what AI is. What's augmented intelligence? Now, augmented intelligence is normally abbreviated as IA. AI is artificial intelligence and IA is augmented intelligence. This augmented intelligence is also referred to as intelligence amplification. That's where the IA abbreviation comes from. IA, intelligence amplification. It's also called cognitive augmentation, or it's also called decision support. And more so, it can still be called machine augmented intelligence or enhanced intelligence. All those are terms that refer to augmented intelligence. Now, what is it? When you talk about augmented intelligence, in the augmented intelligence, we are talking about the artificial intelligence with a twist. Artificial intelligence with a twist. What does that mean? Now, while artificial intelligence is the creation of machines to work and react like humans, this augmented intelligence is using those same machines, this time with a different approach. And what's that approach? It is to enhance the human worker. Indeed, augmented intelligence involves people and machines working together. So here we are seeing people and machines working together, and they work together, playing to their own strength to achieve greater business value. In other words, the primary objective of augmented intelligence, IA, is to empower we humans, to be empowered to work better and smarter. To work better and smarter. That's the primary objective of this augmented intelligence. So my friends, thank you for watching my video. This marks the end of our introduction to AI. Let me leave you with this quotation, this quote from Sabine Hart, the co-founder of RoboHub.org. He says, robots are not going to replace humans. They are going to make their jobs much more human. Difficult, demeaning, demanding, dangerous, dull. All these are the jobs robots will be taking. So my friends, do not fear. We are not going to be replaced by robots, but they are going to do these donkey works, the difficult works, demeaning, demanding, and dangerous and dull works. These are the jobs that robots will be taking, but they will make our jobs more humane. Thank you for watching once again. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and don't forget to invite more people to also enjoy this series about artificial intelligence. God bless you.